until they get comfortable. Like when you take the time that you take the chance and the time to get to know someone, lesbian, gay, transgender, whatever orientation they are, a lot of us are pretty cool and you have a lot of fun, not in a sexual way.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
And sometimes it's hard for the parent to have that discussion if they don't know how to have that discussion.
But should the school have that discussion?
I don't think so, especially public schools.
That's a whole nother debate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I personally
don't
think
believe
so.
in that at all. That I don't believe in.
You know, I believe in being open and honest with my kids to a certain extent. You know, like Mike, I hate to tell you Santa Claus isn't real, but you know, my 9-year-old still believes in Santa Claus, and that's great. That's awesome. But
not anymore. Not after.
Not after hearing this.
You don't watch it,
fucking idiot.
I think the times are going down because they already don't believe in the Easter Bunny. But I have a problem with that. If you're going to be a parent has huge responsibility, and I don't know if you guys are choosing to have children or not. And well, Mike's available for surrogate, just so you know.
I got my uterus taken out.
He's more Nick's type.
He's more Nick.
No, he's my type.
Kevin, you're in trouble, buddy.
You're gonna. Oh, okay.
You know what you did wrong is you didn't shave.
Oh, that's what it
You
is.
would have shaved, you'd be off the list, maybe.
Yeah, you should see me in the wintertime. The beard gets down to my chest. I look like Grizzly Adams.
Down, boy, down.
But that's a tough. That if you're going to take on the responsibility of having a parent, of being a parent, which is the most responsibility you will ever have in your life, you should also be willing to take on the job of educating your children, not forcing it off on somebody else.
I agree. I don't think it's a tough discussion. You know, I don't envy a parent that has to have that discussion. But I think the whole school curriculum thing is a whole political debate that could take us here all night.
Yeah, we don't do politics here. That's for
just getting back to that. Did your parents ever talk with you at all back then?
Oh yeah, parents tried to teach us what we need to know. You know,
did they know?
I think my mother knew. She had 3 gay boys at one point. Oh, 2 gay boys and
so she
my
had
sister.
She had to know something was up.
Yeah, she had to know
point.
something was up.
Yeah.
When they were passing the Playgirls around from room to room.
Hiding them underneath their
mattresses.
It's like, why are you always watching Tom Selleck? You know? But it's a tough.
I'll blame it on her. She made me watch Top Gun.
We had this whole Top Gun discussion about that's Maverick's walk into being gay. Which, if you haven't watched that video out there, go look up Quentin Tarantino's take on Top Gun. It's actually quite humorous, and he's out there. But how do you have that conversation with a child when all of their different friends are interested in girls, and you kind of know, like your parents, you said they kind of knew. How do you breach that subject with your kid?
I have no idea.
Well, do you two ever plan on having kids?
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh, you like money. That's what it is.
He likes his sugar daddy.
You like you like money. No, you know, it's a great experience to raise something from the beginning. And I see more lesbian couples having children than gay male couples. Like that, I have a lesbian couple that lives across the street from me, and they have 2 children. You obviously know which one is the more feminine of the two, because I still believe that the way we're designed biologically is there's always a feminine and there's always a masculine. It doesn't mean that it's got to be a girl-boy.
Right.
There's always one, and it's very clear. And they're both wonderful people, and I love them dearly.
I mean, it's the same thing with this podcast. You got the masculine one and the feminine one.
No,
I'm in touch.
You sure about that?
I'm in touch.
Listen, he grows a beard just to prove he's a guy.
Who has chest hair, motherfucker?
I got it. I just don't like it.
Kevin, you're going to turn them on.
That's all right. I'm secure enough in my manhood.
Listen, I worked all day. You turn them on, you're turning them off.
You get them started, you got to play with them. Yeah, I get that.
Kevin's going to be 4 blocks past Route 4 tonight.
We got to bring this one back. At what point did you finally who did you tell first? Aside from your boyfriends.
I was going to say, hopefully his boyfriend.
They obviously knew. But who did you tell first of your non-romantic relationships?
So my close friends.
Yeah.
I confided in my close friends. I have a friend who's an officer in Bergen County, and he was my best friend growing up. Always took me under his wing. Always protected me. So I usually confided in him first.
And what was his reaction?
He didn't care. You know, he just, you're my brother, and whatever you do, you do. Leave me out of it.
He wasn't getting any action anyway, so he's like, "Yeah, go do what you want to do."
Yeah, my friends,
You're
I don't know if I ever came out to a family members. They kind of just figured it out, and it was just untalked about.
well. One of the things I know about the gay men community, because I want to get into it. One of our sponsors is a company called Xbody. I know you guys are real like parents oriented. Because guys are visual. It makes perfect sense. Guys are visual. Women are
Audio.
Audio.
Yeah, they like.
Women are like, oh, you gotta love me for my personality, and you can't judge a book by its cover. If the book's not interesting looking, you're not gonna want to go for it. If it's too thick, you're not gonna want to read it. Stuff like that. I got a whole thing on that. But so Xbody US, go to xbodyus.com, and if you're into taking care of your body, they'll help you out with testosterone therapy.
We got plenty of that, buddy.
Did they give?
But listen,
do they give gay men?
You're 40 years old. Your
I'm still
testosterone
good.
starts dropping.
I'm still
now,
good, buddy.
But what would
You'll
it?
be my first phone call if it starts.
Wouldn't it be great to feel like you're 18 again? And that's what Xbody does. They have a range of services they provide, from cosmetic to overall health and wellness to your body, vitamin infusions, gut checks, because that's going to bring us into our next portion of this. Is you're a first responder, and first responders, it's a tough thing because not a whole lot of first responders I can see would be very accepting of it. You got to change in a locker room. And I know guys that are like this. They're afraid to change in a locker room next to a gay person. They'll never want to do it. As a matter of fact, there's a comedian named Marc Norman, and he talks about one of his homophobic friends where I'm not shaking that gay guy's hand. He just had his hand on a penis. And he goes, well, you had no problem shaking mine, and mine was just in there. So they become very homophobic. So, again, another myth I want to dispel here is every guy you see, do you want him?
No.
Really?
No.
God.
Depends
on the guy.
Surprising.
Depending on the guy.
Depending on the guy.
He's got your number, Kev.
That's okay. Listen, that's all right. I'm good.
We'll leave you two here, and Mike and I will go get a drink.
Coming over later, huh?
He'll be drinking something else from you. That's the problem. But how did you work into this field of first responder? Was it always just a calling?
So luckily we're volunteer, so there's not too much locker room action.
Yeah.
But I've had guys tiptoe around me, afraid to talk to me, afraid if they're going to say something that's going to offend me or not offend me. It's tough. It's tough to blend the cultures together until you have that family-like atmosphere.
And like, how would they tiptoe around you? Give me an example.
Well, like if you were changing and getting dressed and they walk by, they'll stop, back up, turn the other way, wait till you're done, then they'll go into the changing room.
Ass cheeks out.
Yeah.
just in case you trip and accidentally put your dick into their ass.
They'll back out of the changing room.
It's a lot harder than you think.
It's like, really? Like that's it just surprises me. Like, really? I've seen that before. Are you serious?
It happens.
It happens? Oh, listen.
Until they get comfortable. Like when you take the time that you take the chance and the time to get to know someone, lesbian, gay, transgender, whatever orientation they are, a lot of us are pretty cool and you have a lot of fun. Right. Not in a sexual way.
Well, there was years ago where I was working at a restaurant. I think I was still in college, and the girls. I went out with a group of girls, and they went to a gay bar.
Okay.
And I really didn't know it was a gay bar. I didn't pay for a damn drink all night.
You're right.
I wonder why.
It was the greatest thing ever. I'm like, these girls have it
So,
made.
So my cousin, right? I forget where we were. We were traveling somewhere. Our whole family was away. Was up visiting somewhere, and he's like, "Take me to a gay bar. I've never been to one." So I grabbed my cousins and my brothers and my sister and go to this gay bar, right? And I give the bartender my credit card. I'm like, I got this group here, and they're dancing, listening to music. The end of the night comes around. I go to pay the bill. I grab the credit card, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's like $40." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes,
Drinking all night.
I go, "My cousin's tanked." He goes, "Oh, he didn't pay for a drink all night." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Every time he came to the bar, he lifted up his shirt and somebody bought him a drink."
Oh, he flashed them.
Yeah.
That's
He's got those abs, man. He got the guys buy him drinks all night long.
That's not a bad deal, Mike.
I'm thinking about it.
You've been thinking about it a lot longer than just tonight.
You got to have the abs, though.
I did for a while. After my neck surgery, I lost them.
So did you ever come out to your fire department, or they just always knew when you got the job?
So the department I'm in now, They knew before I even got there, because open and proud. And in the beginning, they were a little nervous, but now they're a whole nother family, and I probably spend more time with them than I do with my own family.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it from our perspective in our locker rooms. I'm sure there was a couple officers who were gay. There was a lot of officers who I called gay, because that seems to be a generic term that you throw out for somebody who is, I guess, less than masculine. But I've seen more masculine gay men than these guys, like way more masculine gay guys. So, does that ever offend you when somebody says that? Like, I'll call him, "Hey, you're gay."
No, it's a word.
Yeah.
Doesn't gay mean happy? Really, that's
Mike's gay every
you're
day.
right.
Faggot means a bundle of sticks.
Yeah.
And that's an offensive word.
So that's an offensive word.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, they're words, man. If you're going to be insensitive and take some of it to heart, then you're just as guilty as the person saying it.
This is true. If they, I was taught growing up, because I grew up around a lot of ethnical. Look at me, I'm starting to talk like you. You're rubbing off on me. It was racially
something.
diverse where I grew up, so we would use terminology towards each other that you would find offensive.
Right. You probably can't use any of those words today.
You can't, but it was basically because those words had no power.
Right.
So
and plus it was among friends,
right.
Like I'm saying, like I said, if you say it behind someone's back, then there's that negative connotation to it. If you say it right to someone's face in a friendly way,
Right.
Then
Yeah,
you really.
but I also hold the individual accountable. Like, you use a word toward me, and okay, it's an offensive word, but you mean no harm to me. So why should I take it offensively?
You should take that word back.
Which one?
Faggot. You should take it back. Black people took their N-word back. Be like, faggot, please. Come on.
Yeah, that'll definitely get you some attention.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you should take it back. You should start that movement.
Nah, I'm good, man. let that one stay dead.
I'm trying to find some chink in your armor, because what I'm finding out is it doesn't matter what your sexuality is, whether you're a good firefighter, whether you're a good EMT.
Has nothing to do with it.
Now you've come across many bad firefighters who were heterosexual, I'm sure.
Could you rephrase that?
What?
He's come across a lot of firefighters.
I didn't say he came on a lot of firefighters.
All right. Listen, I just my mind. I'm sorry.
He's deep into this, guys. I think you're like this close to turning it.
Yeah, as Nick gives him the look.
Gives him the wink.
Nick started staring at me a little more now than you.
Did you ever do that? Because I know there's girls who do that, who will take a heterosexual girl and try to turn her.
That's so much work.
It,
That's so much work. I ain't got time for that.
Enough
What's
time
that?
in a day.
It is, but I tried.
You
Trying right now with you.
Yeah, you might want to be careful what you ask for there, bud.
I'm gonna back out of the door.
You can rub off on me.
Listen, bro, I got no ass. I'm just letting you know. I look like a frog if you stood a frog up and put jeans on it.
Hey, Kev, that's not the part he wants.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Well, listen, I'm married, so I got that was removed.
Your wife will sell you. Don't worry.
Oh, she'll pimp me out in a second. But has there ever been a time when you got a little downtrodden about your? I guess I hate to call it a lifestyle, because it's not a lifestyle. It's because a lifestyle is something you choose, and I'm a firm believer that being gay, straight, trans, I'm a firm believer it's not a choice. But I'm going to use for this
Right.
for the
Purpose of this
conversation. Your lifestyle, has it ever gotten just like, oh man, why has it got to be this way?
It has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
And the demographics and where you are, it changes. My first firehouse wasn't too accepting. I relocated. My new firehouse is unbelievably supportive.
Now, are you the voice? I know you just recently gave a speech,
Yeah.
which you sent me. It was really good, by the way. It was really good.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of sending that, and you pop up.
Well, yeah, you sent it to me by accident.
So, the county executive just honored the LGBT first responders and healthcare workers that stayed in the fight during the COVID pandemic. And I was chosen to be the keynote speaker and accept the proclamation on behalf of the first responders.
So I got a problem with this. I'm going to be very honest with you. It's good that they're recognizing you. But why is it just a month? Like, There is no such thing as gay history. There is no such thing as black history. There is no such thing as white history. There is just history. You follow me?
Oh, I think it just follows the pattern with all the other Pride months that are out there.
Because I have a feeling, like again, this is just my own archaic way of thinking, that when you categorize somebody, you're able to put them in a box and define them, even though you may not agree with them or understand them. It makes sense of chaos to them, to most people. Like when I look at you, I don't see a gay firefighter, even though that's the name of this episode. I don't see a gay firefighter. I see a firefighter. I see somebody who's willing to put their life on the line for somebody else who they don't know every day of the week.
Yeah.
And that's just but that's the way I live. My family wasn't like that. I'm telling you right now, my family wasn't. They were very bigoted when it came to gay people. Like you were told, you stay away from those people,
right? Which
is horrible.
Well, you said that the 80s, and then we hit the 90s, and things got a little better, and now we're
No, my father carried it through until the day he died. No, listen, I'd love to. You can teach a dog new tricks. You just couldn't teach him anything.
There's some that hold their ground.
Why? Like why? Why do you think that is?
That's
old ideology.
Would your father be accepting of it?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever had that real conversation with him, but he never came out and said, stay away from them, or,
He never came out, but neither has Mike.
Yeah, it's very possible. He probably already knows. Now, I've met his father, and his father's real old school. This is why I asked Mike that question. And the old school people, it's funny because the people who you think, again, I'm judging his father by my interactions with him, saying he's old school. He may be the most open-minded person in the world, but there's my discrimination.
Right. Well, we're all guilty of it in some way, shape, or form.
You'd be right with the first assessment.
Oh, yeah?
Listen, love him to death. He's just old school Italian, and, he's set in his ways. Like I said, but he never...
But it's also the culture.
Exactly, that's the way he was brought up. He never talked bad about any gender issues, any race issues, anything like that. I'm sure he's got his opinions on it, but he never pushed them on me.
And that goes back to his parents that raised him and taught him to be that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Nick, have you ever faced any discrimination?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody ever physically threaten you?
No.
No.
Not that I can recall.
No.
No fights, no nothing like that.
No.
Because I have a feeling too, when somebody does that, when somebody discriminates against you, it's telling you more about them. They have something that they're trying to repress inside.
Well, or they're afraid.
Yeah,
they're afraid of something different.
Yeah, but different. Listen, that's what makes the world go around. Yeah. It's being differences. Our differences bring us together closer than our likenesses. So we could sit here and you said you're a baseball fan, all right? We could sit here and talk about baseball,
right?
And that's great. But when we sit there and have an open, honest discussion about things we may not agree on, that's when progress is made,
right?
And we can sit here and agree all day long. So it served you well coming out. I'm sure it wasn't easy to come out. I'm sure it was a difficult discussion.
It doesn't matter who you are. The journey's tough. Coming out's tough because you never know who's going to accept it and who's not.
Have you ever had a friend of yours that just they're still inside? They're still in the closet?
No, I think growing up, I had friends that were in the closet.
Yeah.
Now, if I look back, I think they're all, all of my friends, they've all come to terms and they've all accepted who they are and they've all accepted that it's time to come out. I don't think any of my friends that I know of right now are still in the closet. They've all eventually come out.
Did you lose any friends when you came out?
No, I want to say, luckily, like I said, times have changed. We've made progress. I think I gained friends.
Because I was going to say, we were talking like the old school.
Yeah.
If you came home, if little Johnny came home and said, Dad, my friend Marc is gay, the father may say, I don't want you hanging out with him anymore.
So I wouldn't say lost, but certain friends hung out with less, and
they distanced themselves a little bit.
Certain friends were like, "Oh, cool, let's hang out more," and you just kind of shifted the friends. Didn't really lose any, and then it opened up more doors to new friends.
Now, Nick, this is something for you, since you're a significant other of a firefighter, of a first responder, and I know we have dealt with that with our spouses, and especially in our critical incidents, because Mike and I were both in shootings. When he goes to work on a hot call working a house fire, and do you guys live together?
Yeah.
You guys are fucking. Why would you do it? But anyway, does that pit of your stomach? Because obviously you care for this man. Does the pit of your stomach just ball up a little bit?
A little bit, because you don't know if he's coming home or not.
Right.
God forbid something happens.
And that only happens when you love something more than you love yourself, you know? Because I was always wondering if that was, I'm almost positive I knew the answer to it, that's a commonality.
Oh, if he didn't feel that way, he wouldn't be here.
And you guys are engaged.
Yes, recently.
Oh my God, you guys, the best thing, the biggest selling point to being gay was you couldn't get married. Oh, I'd love to marry you, but I can't. And you
Now
guys,
they changed that. Now they fucked it up for all of you guys.
be careful what you wish for, guys. Be careful what you wish for.
See, you could get rid of that marriage real quick.
I'm not breaking up any happy homes. But that was the one thing that, again, I would love to get married. I know there's some downsides to it because of medical benefits, and it's a legal contract. That's pretty much all marriage is, because you guys can live together for the rest of your lives, love each other, and do everything in between. But then, like, if you're in the hospital, the way it was, it's a little different now, but the way it was you wouldn't be able to go into the hospital room if you were sick and dying because it has to be a family member. That kind of sucks. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But other